Mitch?
Corn, after taking some time to obviously, look back at the film and everything, I guess just what are kind of some of the takeaways and teaching points that that you come away with from the last few minutes on Saturday?
At the end of the day, we have one guy on this team that's been to the NCAA tournament in Tillman. We have guys that's gaining and getting experience through trials. And I think I would chalk that up as an experience. I think, I think we have to do a great job of taking care of the ball, but at the same time, being able to be consistent with staying aggressive as well. So I think at the end of the day, we just have to count on our guards to stay aggressive and kind of encourage them to stay aggressive until the game is handled. And I thought Alabama did a good job in terms of being able to hit some shots late in the game, which they are obviously capable of, and our guys did a great job of defending them throughout the 35 minutes of the game. Somebody texted me after the game and said something about, boy, you guys almost gave it away. The truth is we had it to give away. If we were only down, only up 10 points or 6 points throughout the game, then maybe that's not a win. So our guys did an unbelievable job, and for 35 minutes of the game, and for 5 minutes we didn't. And the other thing to that is we hadn't played our best through 40 minutes, and that's still encouraging for us.
Dave Matter?
Hey, Gordon, the identity of who you guys are offensively this year, it looks different than in years past. Just how different is it? And do you remember a moment when Joe basically said, "Hey, we're gonna change this style. We're gonna play faster offensively"?
Well, yeah. To be honest, he wanted to play faster before, years prior to. However, we did not do a good job of taking care of the ball, and so with our turnovers being at a high level, we couldn't fathom playing faster because it probably meant our turnovers would rise. And so with our guys gaining experience, being a little bit older, and coach trusting them more, and them also trusting each other, we went into the summer talking about moving the ball faster up the floor. And I think we can still do it at a higher rate, just in terms of outletting the ball maybe a little quicker, but balling ahead to the other half of the floor faster. Yes, it was in the makings before, but we turned it over too much. And so as soon as the season was over, Coach talked about it, and we implemented it through conversation and meetings. And then once we got on the floor, we put it in.
Gabe?
Cornell, when you look at Ole Miss, two things: just how different a team are they now than maybe they were a couple months ago? And specific to their last game, I think Romello White had averaged 9 points a game and then put up 30 on Auburn. What specific problems does he present, or did he, at least in that game?
Well, I thought he was very aggressive. I thought he was aggressive his past 3 games in general. But I thought he was aggressive, but I also thought they looked for him more. I thought the game was a little more wide open in the Auburn game, meaning he had opportunities to catch and not be much traffic around him, so he was free to attack the rim. And as a team, I think they are not very different. I think he took a couple guys out and inserted a couple guys that hadn't played as much, and with Allen being one of those guys. And I think the switch out was really good for him. I think it worked well for him. It seemed like the chemistry is a little better. I think they play a little bit harder at every position. I think they're a tough team. I do think there's a chance that those guys they play so hard at times that it gets a little out of control. And so I would think that the foul numbers will be up a little bit, but with it being at Ole Miss, we're gonna have to play through contact, and that'll be the game.
Colin?
Yeah, Coach Mann, February is usually the time of year when teams hit mental and physical walls. Are you guys doing anything in particular to try to fight against that? And is it maybe a little bit less of a concern this year because teams have just played less games?
Well, I think Coach Martin is not a guy that takes those things lightly. Meaning, I think all year long, especially in the coronavirus, without school and those type of things, I thought we did a great job of educating our kids and talking to them about mental awareness and we try to have open and honest communication with them at all times. I think that's where the ball is dropped some. With teens and young people, if you allow young people to just roam and think for themselves, especially at a time like now, then you may be asking for something. You have to give great attention to these young guys and pay attention to things that they might be going through or not. Like, we call guys from time to time and just ask them, other than basketball, what are some things that's going on in your life? Is it anything we can help you with? And for the most part, our guys have been fine. And if they have not been fine, they'll say it and we'll address it and or attack it. We got good psychological help here at the University of Missouri. And so we open and honest and we attack it and address it as it comes.
Sweetie?
Hey, Corn, just wondering, looking at the stats, what makes Mississippi's defense so good and seems like they get a lot of turnovers? What is there kind of a reason to that?
Well, I think I would say right now they play as hard as anybody, not just in the SEC, in the country. I am biased. I think the SEC has some of the best players and best athletes in college basketball, which to me makes it the best, if not amongst the best of the leagues in the country. And I think they play as hard as anybody. And with that being said, they'll mix up things. So they'll play a 1-3-1 zone. They'll play a 2-3 zone. They'll trap on the sides at times. So they try and keep you off balance and mix things up. And if you're not sound and solid, then obviously you can turn that ball over. So
Ben Arnett?
Corn, kind of following up on what Colin asked, you've got all these extra things that you've had to go through this year, extra policies, procedures, testing, all that stuff. And I ask this knowing obviously it's all necessary and you have to do it. But is there any fatigue setting in because of all that extra stuff of this year added on to the fact that it's February?
Fatigue for the players?
Yeah, well, and coaching staff, everybody.
I don't see it. I don't see it in terms of it being any different or any more than any other year. I don't see it. I don't feel it. I don't think our guys feel it. The one thing that's interesting, and this is, I've already answered the question, but one thing that's interesting is after you play a game, there is no school where, the players can be appreciated face to face and those type of things. And in a day and age where social media is so big, that will also say that, after a game, those guys really would like that interaction and not having that, as a young person, does that bother them? I don't know, but I've thought about that. But other than that, I think our guys are because they are older and a little more mature. I think that's aided in our progress and success in being 2020, 2021. I think that's really helped us. If we had a bunch of young guys, I think it'd be tougher. So teams that have a bunch of young guys, I do think that's a little bit tougher.
Jessica?
Hey, Coach, just wondering, I know you guys were picked to finish 10th in the SEC in the preseason, but so far, are you guys exceeding your expectations or are you kind of on par for what you guys had set out for yourself?
Well, 10 was, when that happened, it was like, man, the SEC must be really, really good, which of course it is. But if we're 10th, then it's some teams that's going to tear up the land. I think our expectations is to be better every game. I know that sounds like the company line, but it's really real. I think it's to be better every game, to be tougher every game. With Coach Martin and Mizzou basketball, is all about toughness and resiliency, and I think we've shown that through at least 35 minutes of any contest. We've also showed that we didn't play 35 minutes of a contest, which would obviously get you beat. But I think our expectations, sky is the limit. Prior to the season starting, I got on and had an interview with some guys, and I think Mitch and Dave, and one of the things that I told them was, we at that time we were willing to play anybody anywhere, and we would think we have a great chance of winning that game. I don't think that's changed, but with Coach Martin being the leader of this program, Mizzou basketball is all about getting better, getting tougher, and maxing out. And I don't think we've maxed out yet. Not in one game, maybe in a half, but not in a game.
Andrew?
Coach, there's some buzz around Coach Martin being potentially the SEC Coach of the Year. I'm curious what your thoughts are on that. You think he deserves that thus far?
All right, now you're trying to get me in trouble. I thought he deserved it his first year. And so if people feel he deserved it, then they should give it to him. But I thought he deserved it his first year. Maybe I'm biased. I think right now, if you ask me, and again, I am biased, if you ask me right now, he is the Coach of the Year in all of college basketball. I heard a analyst say that Nate Oates was leading for Coach of the Year around the country, and if that's the case, then I don't know why Coach Martin wouldn't be leading around the country for Coach of the Year.
Mitch?
No, Javon was obviously pretty limited by the ankle on Saturday. Do you have a sense on if he has progressed at all since then, or what his status could be tomorrow?
I don't know. I do know that Javon sometimes is his own worst enemy, meaning he'll practice on one leg if you let him, and that's not a knock on him, but it also is a knock on him, because you got to be smart, and he'll hold back the fact that he's hurting and try and get through practice. And so right now he's going about his treatment every day, and hopefully he's available to play.
Colin?
Yeah, Coach, your defense is one that's, built to not help off shooters and make guys kind of play one-on-one, but that's kind of how this Mississippi team likes to play offense. Just how do you see that matchup going stylistically tomorrow?
I don't know if our defense is built on one-on-one. We're going to help each other out. I think last game we had to do some of that because guys were capable and able to shoot the ball. This game we'll play Mizzou defense, and I think our defense is one that we try and pressure the ball and have help waiting. If help is needed, help will be there to wait and to help. But this team is a tough team. They really drive the ball hard, so we got to do a good job in terms of closing out. That's the beginning of defense. If we don't do a good job closing out and being active on the ball and take care of that, then now all of a sudden someone does have to help, and now you're in a scramble, and we don't want that. So we got to do a good job of helping each other out. But first and foremost, to close out and really, sit down and guard the guy with the ball first. And if you need help will be available.
Last question, Coach. Dave?
Yeah, when Javon couldn't play the other day, that meant more minutes for Torrence. How has Torrence kind of handled a different role this year? He seems like he's super energetic with the guys on the bench, and just how's he coming along?
Well, Torrence, just like any other player that go play the game, he want to play, and he's working his tail off to do so. And he's really just waiting on his number to be called. I think he's handling it as well as anyone can handle it. I think his teammates respect him and feel like he's working to get there. And I 100% believe it'll be a time where Torrence will have to step in the game, play, and he'll do a great job. Until then, he'll play as coach sees fit, and he'll continue to be the great teammate that he is, and cheering guys on, and waiting for his number to be called. I think Torrence has gained a lot of respect from everybody in the program, from the coaches to his teammates to anybody around here. And we love the guy, and we're looking for him and hope that he continues to progress and get his opportunity to get out there and show what he can do.
Thanks, Coach.
Have a great one.